guys, this is your warning. We do post up spoilers. At times we're relatively offensive. We use vulgar language. So if you think that any of those are gonna offend you in any way, shape, or form, take your step back right now. Because, buddy, this is not the place for you. Anywho, have fun listening to us. And, yeah, this has been your final warning.
Welcome to yet another laid-back edition of Cinematic Anarchy. I'm Chris.
And this is Omar.
And we are down 2 people today. I believe this is the first time we've had a chance to do a 2-person podcast, just me and you, Omar.
It looks like it, yes.
I think me and Seth have done quite a few. I think I had one podcast with just Nico on it, but this is the first time it's just been you and me. And today we're going to go ahead and discuss a movie that I tortured everybody with yesterday evening, Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. That was... It was a mess. A mess of a movie.
Definitely messy. It was a messy mess, to say the least, and that's been nice about it. However, I found it hilarious. I guess because it was so messy, it made for a very funny watch. I can understand some people hating it anyways, but you know, it was so bad it was funny type of deal. But it was just full of goof-offs, full of crazy things that happened, and it was just all around a mess, a hot mess of a movie.
I will definitely agree with you there. And just based off of the other films that Phil Karaskis has actually has in his repertoire, I should say. It didn't take me very long to trip on my tongue this time. That was spectacular.
It's a new record, people.
Yeah, it was very, very quick. So I was looking at Phil Karaskis' filmography here, and he has also been involved in movies such as Harry Knuckles and The Siege of the Leopard Lady, Harry Knuckles and the Treasures of the Aztec Mummy, and also Harry Knuckles and the Pearl Necklace.
I want to know who Harry Knuckles is now.
Oh, and just, of course, straight up Harry Knuckles. But, it's
he did Harry Knuckles, too?
Just Harry Knuckles.
Plain Harry Knuckles.
And then I guess he's also been involved in a movie called Hut Knives, Smash Cat, and John N.E. Hill's Welcome Wagon. First of all, the fact that he starred in 4 short films, all, I guess, involved... I guess he must be Harry Knuckles. Or Harry Knuckles, my apologies. Harry, not Harry Knuckles.
No, not Harry. Harry.
Which is usually followed by it's Harry Knuckles and his 5 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand that one.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, let's just get started with just talking about the movie in general. The movie itself, I mean, I don't think the script was bad, per se. Obviously, you know, we're talking about a bunch of amateur actors.
Definitely.
I believe possibly Phil Karaskis seemed to be the most knowledgeable of all of them anyway. He didn't seem to really be out of his element acting at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess we started
It was pretty crazy.
I believe we started the film with a speech by what looked like Rasputin the Mad Monk.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly devolved into a lot of I want to say it seemed almost like lesbian erotica.
I wouldn't say erotica, but there was a lot of reference and conversations about lesbians because they were looking for lesbians to convert into vampires and all that good stuff.
Well, like that first scene. The first scene where she attacks that girl from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it was kind of erotic, yeah, in a little way.
It's like before she really bit her. Kind of
nipped and nibbled.
Little bit of nip, little bit of nibble, and then the bite.
Yeah.
That is actually, now that I'm remembering, that is actually where the young lady from the end of the movie came. The one who El Santos had fallen for?
Phil Caracas, man.
What are you looking for here?
I'm looking at the X-ray, looking at the trivia for the movie here.
Okay.
And reading about this guy who played the classic role of Harry Knuckles that I never heard of. Now I'm curious to see Harry Knuckles.
I wonder where those are. I wonder if this is even something that you could find at this point. If it's like on Prime or...
Did you see on your list there on IMDb Harry Knuckles and the Treasure of the Aztec Mummy?
Yep, there was those are 2 shorts. It looks like they did a series of them. All around 2002, 2003. Let's see. I'm just kind of looking through IMDb to see if these are available anywhere, and I don't see availability. That's one thing I don't see on any of these shorts. It looks like they were made and then kind of disappeared. Yeah. No distribution, no place to find them. That seems like something we may have to hunt down like after we finish up the cast for the day. Just try to find where these might actually be. Because with like most movie shorts, it's not easy to find them.
Definitely.
Because usually they're sort of experimental things. And I imagine they're probably in and around the same quality as Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
Mm-hmm. One of the villains in the movie, Maxine Shrek.
Okay.
So
the lead sapphic vampire.
Yes. The character, Maxine Shrek, is named after actor Max Shrek, of who is known for making the 1922 movie Nosferatu.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good little tidbit of information there anyway.
Yeah.
I was unaware.
They have another piece of data. Ever important piece of data.
Okay.
Very crucial. The screaming lesbian lady in the lesbian drop-off clinic is Lee DeMarver's mother.
Who's Lee? Okay, so who's Lee DeMarver's?
Let me see who it is.
That's the question.
The director or producer.
It's like, let's see. So that's Lee who?
Lee DeMarver.
So let's go ahead and see who that is.
I don't think he's one of the actors. He's probably the producer or director.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing him as part of the cast at all. Yeah, that's actually the director.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Gordon DeMarbra.
Yep.
The writer was Ian Driscoll, and of course we have our lead actors. We have Phil Caracas, Muriel Healy, I guess, and Maria Moulton. Actually, no.
Muriel Healy.
Actually, went to school with a young lady named Maria Moulton. I'm definitely thinking that she does not live in, or did not at any point live in
Canada,
Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
Could have come from here to do it.
I actually first watched this film down in Georgia. I picked up a VHS copy of it from a place called Vision Video, which is like a college campus video store down in Athens, Georgia. And the gentleman there had the nerve to list it as a local film. So they had like a local film section where movies were filmed locally.
Yep.
That were filmed locally. They had them all in that one section. And he said that most of this was filmed elsewhere, but that the entirety of the junkyard scene took place in Georgia. And now that I know a little bit more...
They really needed to film... They needed really to rent that film.
I think they just needed to put more movies in that section.
They needed to film that rent.
I mean, can you imagine like being in Ottawa and like, you know what, we're really not getting the real junkyard feel here. However, I got some pictures of this place in Georgia. We're going to take a trip. You got to need passports. That would have upped the budget of that film just a little bit.
That probably was the whole $100,000 budget when traveling to Georgia for the junkyard scenes. That's it. That's all it went to. That's crazy.
That's right. That's the entire budget was $100,000 Canadian.
$100,000 Canadian dollars. Bills.
Are those loonies? Is that what they call them?
Mm-hmm.
The Bills up in Canada?
That's how they call them, loonies?
Loonies.
No, why?
I don't know. You gotta ask them. I have absolutely no idea. I mean, it doesn't make their currency sound favorable.
Well, the way they did this film was just like a little hobby project because it was shot on weekends during a 2-year period. People have lives, and this film is not good enough to dedicate yourself and take a break from life to do it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I had an appreciation for the movie. There was a fun little message of inclusion that kind of went along with the entirety of the movie.
Yeah, definitely was some social commentary to it.
The special effects were not great at all. Like,
we're not great.
Well, like the scene, the beginning of the movie where the vampires originally attacked.
That would imply that they were in any way acceptable.
First of all, daylight vampires. They had to come up with a storyline where they had some guy that was grafting new skin on all the vampires so they could walk in the daylight.
Exactly.
But that initial opening scene where the sapphic vampires attack Jesus, and he has his 2 guys basically bless the lakes. Now, first of all, they are knee-deep in the water, blessing the lakes, and these vampires come up behind them and kill them both.
Kill them both, yeah.
Which means that the young ladies that killed these 2 priests, and mind you, we use the word priests loosely, because these guys were like punk rock priests.
And that's okay.
That's not a bad thing. I mean, I know there's Christian punk rock out there. You know.
I know of a priest that was a fill-in in a punk rock band, and he was a priest, and he will sometimes join this guy to jam out. Great guitar player back in the day.
I watched this and I'm like, these girls had to wait out to go get these guys, to kill these guys. Now, if this entire lake, mind you, it was one of the Great Lakes, had been blessed so that they could kill the vampires, wouldn't this have killed them before? Like, they're already in the water. They're ankle deep in the water, killing the 2 guys that are blessing the lake. Why did it take Jesus body slamming them, or I don't even know what you call that second maneuver. He was like airplane spinning the girl. Had 1 leg, 1 arm, is just spinning her around.
That was a lot of mixed martial arts, wrestling, kung fu, everything. But what I really didn't like was that they killed those 2 characters, the priest with the mohawk, super punked out, and the other guy. I really like those characters. I didn't like that they killed them off so fast. It was basically towards the first. Besides the girl in the opening scene, those 2 were like the next kills. Right.
And that girl in the opening scene ended the movie too, so. She was, I think we just mentioned that.
Yeah.
But, if those guys didn't die, if we didn't have that whole opening scene, we wouldn't have gotten the uber-long musical that followed.
I know. I know, with the dancing and everything, super Broadway-ish.
I could understand. I definitely could understand the musical thing. That whole, what was it, like a 5-minute, 6-minute scene?
That was a musical.
I could understand that if the movie itself was a musical.
The corny dancing was off the charts.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was awkward, to say the least, because you're not expecting a moment that what they, it felt like they turned it into a musical in the middle of the movie, but it was really not a musical, just a musical number.
This kind of dancing, this kind of musical number, you could very, very. This is the kind way to say it. It's like a dumpster fire that's off Broadway. It was bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
No, there was just no need to have that musical in the movie at all. I mean, I get what they were doing there. It was them just having fun. But it was just not necessary. other than to just have a musical number. Just Jesus is going to randomly sing and dance with a bunch of people that and there is a theme throughout the movie, if you remember a lot of different scenes of people not wanting to help him at all. People just like, yeah, you know what, I see that you're hurt, or yeah, I see that you need help, and people are like going the other way. No, we're not going to help you.
Whatever.
No, we're saving ourselves. Fuck you. We're done.
Yeah. So it has a lot of cases for kindness and things like that. It was a cool little message, inclusion, the whole social commentary. It's great. It was just very, very poorly executed. And that's being nice about it. It was awful.
Well, like the end of the musical was basically him talking to these people who he wanted to have them help him take out the vampires, and they all ran the other way. And then he gathers them back around, and he's like, why aren't you going to help me? He's like, well, I've got this to do, and I'm doing this, and this is something, and I really don't feel like this, and I don't feel I'm strong enough to work with.
Yeah.
And he's like, I see you're wounded, and I understand that you're wounded. He goes, but I'll tell you what, I'm wounded too. And he goes, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. And he puts out his palms,
his palms with the with the nail scars.
And so I thought that was cute. I don't know if I could call it anything more than that. Just cute. It's like, I see where you were going there. I understand why you did it. You didn't have to, but I understood.
Yeah. There was a lot of craziness and weirdness throughout.
We have the play on words, Mary Magnum instead of Mary Magdalene.
Mary Magnum.
And I like that he had this whole thing with her. I guess Jesus thought he was going to have a relationship with Mary Magdalene there.
Or at least relations.
Mary Magnum.
Or at least relations.
The young lady who was dressed in a head-to-toe red leather catsuit.
Yep.
Throughout the entirety of the movie. Jesus even changed clothes a few times, but she could never seem to get out of the catsuit.
She probably has several. I doubt it.
And if you know anything about a catsuit, and I've known some people that have worn them in the past, they're not the most comfortable things to wear long term.
Gee, and I was just about to get myself one.
Right, yeah, well, make sure you get the assless ones, the one that has the air conditioning in the back. But
oh my god. So those are the ones who has worked best for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but the movie, this was incredibly, crazily bad.
So, what do you think was probably the worst thing about the movie?
The worst thing? Well,
think.
They incorporate a character, a hero of a sort, who is basically rebirth with superhero status in Mexico, which is El Santo. But what they did, they got a fake El Santo and they did El Santos, who is a Mexican wrestler and all that. Well, yeah. But they got some dude that is not him. First of all, the accent wasn't, didn't even sound like anybody from Mexico. However, it was funny that they did it. But that was the most off-the-wall thing that I wasn't expecting. But then again, the name means the saint. So it makes sense in a movie about Jesus Christ that they bring in a saint to help him out.
Santos was played by Jeff Moffat.
Yeah,
Big
definitely.
Jeff Moffat. I don't know if maybe he was like a local wrestler or something.
Probably.
I'm going to look him up real quick. But,
the Google.
Oh, apparently he has a lot to do with Mr. Carrascus. I think this group in general, it looks like...
They're just a group of friends.
They work together, yeah, a lot.
Yeah, it's like a group of friends that get together, get high, make movies.
Now I have to go see the Harry Knuckles series.
Yeah, we have to find out about Harry Knuckles and see what's up with that.
Because, from what I'm seeing here, he was involved in those, too.
Yes.
So I'm just kind of curious...
And the director guy did those movies.
Yep.
Lee.
It sounds like it's just a group of people that got together, like, we're going to make a bunch of movies, a bunch of shorts, just have fun. Which is fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not deterring them in any manner. But I would definitely like to actually see some of these movies. Smash Cut, Harry Knuckles. I'm going to have to go find these. Maybe they're on YouTube. It's possible they have the shorts released on DVD, Blu-ray. Usually you can find a lot of that stuff free on Prime. I realized that I just basically stuck my foot right in front of the camera.
It happens.
Just right now. The camera's right there. I put my foot up on the...
It's okay.
My apologies to the folks on Facebook who had to see the bottom of my fucking foot for a minute there. Personally, I think there was a couple of moments in that movie that I thought were absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, there were a few.
Two that stick out in my mind. One was, I think I was mentioning Mary Magnum there. She's giving a debriefing on a lot of the goings-on around town to Jesus. And they are sitting in a sauna with a laptop.
I know! And the laptop, you didn't notice the laptop was there at the beginning, did you?
Oh, I noticed the laptop was there.
From the beginning, before she went to it and started looking up stuff?
When she was in the sauna, I knew it was there, but the thing is, I'm thinking to myself, we're in a sauna here. And I know I work in an office building, and one thing I know about computers don't like heat, let alone humidity.
Mm-hmm.
So high heat and humidity, that's bad for your computer, man. What are you doing?
It's a holy computer. Relax. She's an apostle.
I guess Jesus must have blessed the computer.
With a miracle antivirus.
You know, we're not blessing, it's not holy water, but it's holy waterproof.
With miracle components. Holy waterproof.
The second thing in the movie, and I'm trying to remember the name of the main villain, the guy that was, he was the guy that was grafting the skin onto the vampires. Off the top of my head, I can't think of his name, and I'm going to go zoom down here to see if I can find it.
Dr. Pretorius or something like that?
Yeah, Dr. Pretorius. Yeah, okay. He, at one point in the movie, there's this girl just laying on the slab, and Jesus pops up in his lab, which it looks just like a plain room they had in like a...
And they put some lab-looking stuff.
But he pops up and he's like, you're in the junkyard. And he goes like, I'm everywhere.
I'm everywhere. He went just in there to fight him.
And he was
fighting in the junkyard.
But he pulls out what looks like a bunch of socks, kind of malformed into intestines and soaked in red something or other.
Yep.
Out of this girl. And I'm just looking at it and he uses it as if they were nunchakas.
That's how they kept the budget from going above $100,000.
Everybody's got dirty socks. Just need to sew a little cheesecloth together, throw them in there, soak them in some red shit, and you got whatever the hell that was.
It was crazy.
I appreciate that Jesus got staked in the movie.
Yeah, and then he killed the priest that had converted to vampires with his light. Like,
right.
He just shined his
light. The holy light, yes.
Our Father Eustace.
Got a big old hole in his chest. Doesn't kill Jesus. What that does is, mind you, Jesus bleeds profusely before the light. Yeah. I guess cauterizes the wound.
Yep.
So his holy light basically vaporizes the other vampires. Which is the end-all and be-all of that. I mean, well, at that point, if that's what's going to kill the vampires, why wouldn't you just...
But then, you know, once those people were dead, he conveniently came back to normal.
Or he slit...
Like right after.
He slit the doctor's throat.
Yeah.
And then healed him.
And then healed him with his hand. Just put his hand there and be like...
Even you don't deserve to die like that. I was like, okay...
Damn, Jesus.
I mean, thank you, Jesus, for saving the gentleman who caused this whole mess, but... Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
It was a mess.
It was messy. A messy mess.
So all in all, I can see why IMDb has this at about a 5.
Out of what? Out of 20?
It's 5 out of 10.
Oh.
So, yeah, they have a 1 to 10 scale based off of all the ratings that other people have given it.
I will say 5 out of 100.
Mind you, this still rates higher on the scale than those In the Name of the King movies that I had to watch with Seth. And those had some pretty famous people in them. So,
Yeah.
Phil Karaskis and crew, I mean, good on you for being able to get a 5 out of IMDb and do better than Jason Statham and Burt Reynolds. Because I don't know your ass from a hole in the wall.
Exactly.
You look familiar, but... So, good on you and your crew there, those folks making the shorts and the movies. If you can get up that far and In the Name of the King bombed out, and they put some serious money into that.
Exactly.
So, as much as I might have thought it was a bad movie, it wasn't the best. It was so bad it was funny. They did something right if they got above what is a lot of normal Hollywood films.
Yeah. It is the truth. It is true. We can't deny that. That's a fact that's there. It's documented. But yeah, it was a mess.
It makes me wonder what they could have done with a decent budget. Even 2-3 times the budget they had. What would have been available to them if they had a little extra money?
Who knows?
Then
Who's
again,
to
I mean,
say?
$100,000 is nothing to spit at. What are we doing? What are we doing right now? I think most of the equipment that we use for this podcast, Mike was like $150.
Yeah.
We got the computer, which isn't completely paid off yet, but
We could say $1,000 all in all. At the most.
I would venture to say we're pushing it towards about $1,500. Computer wasn't cheap, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it's a top of the line computer for the computer it is. For the brand that it is.
Dell.
But send us a check, Dell. But the movie itself, like for the budget it was, it was still a mess.
Yeah, maybe they did travel to Georgia.
They probably did.
$1,000. Yeah, we're taking a trip. We're going to take a vacation on the dime of the folks that we're going to spend nothing here. Everything here is at our disposal, and then the $100,000 is
because we could sit here all day and talk about how bad the special effects were, but they couldn't do something better with the story. Just too much all over the place. Everything was all over the place. The cinematography, the filming, the sequences, the action. It was crazy. It was like made to look purposely fake, like fake on purpose.
Yeah, definitely. I think that there's a lot of out of place elements there, things that weren't necessary to really tell the story. I appreciate that they. And of course, they ended off Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter with a lovely song that basically went, "It's all right, it's okay, everybody go get laid."
Yeah.
And it was literally just a song that summed up the movie and the plot line. But that, I don't know. I don't know about that message. I mean, if we're talking about what should have been a quasi-religious with obviously some liberties taken there.
The one redeeming, well, I'm not going to say redeeming. That didn't save the movie at all. But it was a part I enjoyed about it was the message, Jesus' message at the end. Basically instructing anybody who want to call themselves his follower to focus on the message, not the messenger.
Right. Follow his word, not follow him. Which I think you said it more eloquently, but that was the basic message.
Yeah, that's basically what he said. Follow the teachings, not me.
Shortly before he took a call from JP.
Yeah, JP did call him. Now I keep wondering who is JP.
Yeah, I started looking up names, and I couldn't find anything that sort of matched up. I know that Judas, his last name was not. It didn't start with a P anyway. It started with an I.
Yep.
So that I have no idea. I'd have to go and start looking into scriptures. Mm-hmm. But that being said, I think we're done talking about the movie right now. That film was beautifully bad. We'll take a quick break to bring up some sponsors, and then we will be back with the second half of our podcast, which, in all honesty, is not going to involve the rant of the week. we're going to go to...
we might just rent a little.
I think we're going to go with your section, Soundtrack Anarchy.
We could
and
do
we're
it.
going to try to move on into some trivia, which I have to locate the trivia cards, so... Maybe in the 2 minutes that we're doing sponsorship, we can find the trivia cards.
Hope we do.
Right. All right. There's the stop button. Here we go. All right, we're back and our sponsors are done, so we're going to go ahead and go with the second half of our podcast. And to start off the second half of our podcast, we're going to do Soundtrack Anarchy with Mr. Omar. Take it away.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. And the soundtrack for Soundtrack Anarchy this week, a very rare one. It's for the movie, 2002 movie, Frida. Great, amazing movie about the great artist Frida Kahlo. It's a biopic with Salma Hayek and them. Great movie. Alfred Molina was in that movie too, but the soundtrack has an amalgam of different Spanish language music, mostly Mexican, but not only Mexican folklore music, some Latin rock in there too, something that would be considered as the, I would say, Spanish version of folk rock. Big highlight by the great immortal Chavela Vargas, who is like a legend of Spanish language music, had a song in that soundtrack, Paloma Negra, that would mean black dove. Another one, an instrumental called The Suicide of Dorothy Hale. Listen to that. Great. Salma Hayek herself had music in this. Salma Hayek and Los Vega, song La Bruja, which means the witch. You have, those are to me the highlights, my favorite on this. You also have one by Chavela Vargas called La Llorona, basically the crying lady, loosely translated. But those songs, basically La Bruja by Salma Hayek and Los Vegas and Paloma Negra by Chavela Vargas, are to me the highlights, along with The Suicide of Dorothy Hale. But check out the soundtrack. A lot of great music. If you're curious about other than the normal music you will listen to, whether you speak Spanish or not, it's great music to listen to. Very well balanced soundtrack to a very good movie. It was a movie that I loved. And anybody who's into art and who's curious about other kinds of music that they don't normally hear will be greatly entertained by this soundtrack. So Soundtrack Anarchy this week is Frida, soundtrack to Frida. It was basically put together by Elliot Goldenthal, great arranger, and basically the instrumentals that are there and the score was by him. So next up, we got our pitch storm and trivia, and we're gonna rock it out.
Well, we have pitch storm. The trivia cards have escaped us, so we have pitch storm. That's about it.
They escaped us.
Yeah, no, I actually looked everywhere, and I could not find the cards for the life of me, and I feel that's because the area that we're currently using for our studio, we move things in and out of it constantly. So there's some stuff out in the dining room area right now. There's some stuff out in the living room area, and I've got to dig. I've got to dig a little bit.
Do some digging.
So I went ahead and set up our cards. We have 3 cards: plot, the plot, character, and notes. And I've got our first one here. I'm going to read off. You're going to read off our second one when we get to that one.
No problem.
But I read this and I snickered a little bit. I hope it didn't actually pop up during what you were reading there.
That's okay.
But our first pitch storm, the first thing that we're going to try to set up is. Oh, I know. I just went dead for a minute, but like all I can hear is my wife, like just really loud in the background. Like she just got real loud all of a sudden. Okay, that might actually come through on the podcast, but it's like when we were recording over at the Steampunk Cafe.
It's all about anarchy. It will happen.
It's that one lady that's sitting over there, and I can't say anything, because what am I going to do? You guys are talking.
We're in a public place.
Stop being human beings for 5 minutes. Shh.
Yeah.
All right. So the plot, or the pitch to this movie is a gossipy hairdresser that never follows her own advice. You know what actually might help? I don't mean to impose on you while we're recording, but if you could just click that door one last little bit shut, that'll cause the seal and...
The seal.
A little less noise, because I feel like with that crack in the door, it lets a little more noise in.
The seal sounded so ominous, like the Da Vinci Code type.
Or, it could just be Seal, as in the singer.
Yeah, great singer, by the way.
You should have seen... do you watch The Masked Singer at all?
No.
This entire season of The Masked Singer, he was basically... the whole point of The Masked Singer is these guys, there's all sorts of people. They're like A-list celebrities, B-list celebrities, singers, athletes, all walks of life, different types of people that are celebrities that are coming in and they sing on stage, and everybody votes for who the best singer is. And basically you can't tell who they are because they're all basically in mascot outfits. This entire season, Seal was dressed in a cheetah outfit. But it was a cheetah dressed up as Queen Elizabeth.
Wow.
Yeah. It was very interesting.
Wow.
Just those massive ornate gowns the entire time. Yeah, it was very interesting. I think he actually hit on Nick Cannon at one point during the thing. Made a pass at him. It was pretty funny. Okay, let's get back into it. So it is interior salon. Gossipy hairdresser who never follows her own advice accidentally summons the ghost of Hitler with a Ouija board.
Oh my god.
Now that's not the kicker. The kicker was this. I drew a card that said, this is the notes. We need to keep this movie rated G. Is that going to be a problem? So essentially, this is a kid's movie about a gossipy hairdresser who accidentally summons Hitler. I'm picturing animated. I'm picturing an animated movie. A not well thought out animated movie. One that's not going to see the light of day, but I picture animated for this.
Yeah. She's probably a gossipy hairdresser, but she's also, a good person who wants to do good, and I guess she starts talking to Hitler and influence him to probably understand where he might have messed up in life.
What if it isn't somebody that she recognizes, though? What if she accidentally summons Hitler, and Hitler knows who he is? He's like, yeah, I don't want them to know that I'm Hitler. I want them to think I'm somebody else. So it's Hitler pretending to be somebody else.
See, being G-rated might be confusing for kids.
Can you make a G-rated movie about Hitler, though? I mean, really?
Hitler was...
You would really have to try hard to make a G-rated movie that involves Hitler, of all people.
Yeah. That's a challenge right there.
That's a real challenge. That's like... You have to take every element of what makes Hitler Hitler out of it. Really. You have to... Wow.
Yeah. I
don't know how you would do that. Who could play a G-rated Hitler? Who do you think could play a G-rated Hitler? Will Forte.
There you go.
Will Forte. Do you know who he is?
I don't know who he is, but I trust your judgment.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you've seen a television show called Last Man on Earth. But the guy who leads, he's the lead actor for Last Man on Earth. This fellow
then
right
I
here.
know who it is. Oh, that's his name?
Yeah, that's Will Forte. I think that he could play a pretty decent G-rated Hitler.
Yep. I see him.
Okay. So I see him as the G-rated Hitler. Now we need our hairdresser, a gossipy hairdresser. I hate to say it, but there's only one person that comes to mind as a gossipy hairdresser because she's done the role before. You know who I'm thinking about. And it would be interesting to see these two people play off each other. Queen Latifah.
Yeah, but she wasn't gossipy.
No.
She wasn't the gossipy one. The other ones were.
They all were. But she's played the hairdresser role before. She was a little gossipy.
I like Dolly Parton for that movie.
Dolly Parton playing across the way from Will Forte, who's playing Hitler, who is trying to disguise himself as somebody else.
That's who I was thinking.
The ghost of Hitler. The entire time. You look awfully familiar. No, I'm not him. I'm definitely not him.
Yeah, definitely.
This man that you think you're seeing, it's not me.
Yeah.
I am Sigmund Freud.
Sigmund Freud. Yeah, he could pretend he's Sigmund Freud because of the accent. No, but I like Dolly Parton. I like Tiffany Haddish. More than Queen Latifah. I like...
I'm trying to think of somebody who plays... Amy Sedaris.
Amy Sedaris.
You know who that is.
I could even think of Michelle Pfeiffer for that.
Actually, no, Michelle. I like the idea of Michelle Pfeiffer. You know why? She has not been used a lot lately. Yeah. And I really think that she could use like a interesting role that she's not used to playing. Because she usually plays sort of... She's been playing moms or sort of like...
very serious women.
She's serious
mostly
women.
Played.
She needs to break out like a decent comedic performance. Something where she can just let it
she has
loose.
done it in the past, but has been wow.
Oh, have you seen Married to the Mob?
Of course,
that was a great flick.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs something where she can kind of let herself kind of hang loose again. She had a lot of good roles when she first started, and then she just got all serious roles.
Yeah, for the most part. Meryl Streep will make a great gossipy hairdresser because Meryl Streep really can do anything.
Co-owners. I feel like Meryl Streep. I'm picturing like a group of ladies run this salon, right? Salon. And Meryl Streep's husband passes. Meryl Streep's husband does not tell her where the key to the safety deposit box is that has basically their life savings in it, because he didn't really trust putting the money in the bank, but he did put it in a safety deposit box. Mm-hmm. So she's trying to contact... Meryl Streep gets these girls together to try to contact the other worlds, basically the spirit world. Mm-hmm. And they, instead of contacting her husband, they accidentally get Hitler.
Yeah.
I feel like Will Forte as Hitler was just walking the streets, just pissed off.
Yep.
He's just a ghost, nowhere to go. Hell doesn't want him. Heaven doesn't want him.
He wanted to be left in peace. And he got summoned by this lady. He was probably just wandering around purgatory or something like that in the in-between, in the great in-between. Let's just call it that. I was just peacefully wandering the great in-between and you summoned me here. I don't want to be here. I've been here.
I'm starting to enjoy the darkness. There's nothing there. I'm happy with nothing.
Yeah, the loneliness, the solitude of the darkness there, and the silence probably that there is.
Right, just nothing. You're just walking around in utter blackness.
Just wandering soul in the big old in the great in between. Let's call it. And then this woman just a very, how would you say, a very chipper, happy, go lucky woman who's trying to help her friend communicate with her husband.
Right.
To find that key.
I feel like she's the one that feels she's also a psychic, like a medium of some sort. So like
she thinks she is.
Michelle Pfeiffer is like the half hairdresser, but she also like has a
psychic thing to her.
She has like a side job where she'll read people's fortunes and do tarot, and she'll read palms, and occasionally she thinks she can communicate with the dead, and she seriously screwed up this time and talked to the wrong guy.
She did communicate with the dead. It just happens to be that dead.
Wrong dead.
The wrong dead. We should call that movie The Wrong Dead. That sounds G-rated enough.
Right?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
That's not G-rated enough.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Meryl Streep.
Happy Harry Hitler.
Will Forte. Wrong Dead.
No, not Happy Harry Hitler.
Happy Harry Hitler.
Turns out like Grandpa.
We can name the movie Dolphy.
Dolphy?
Dolphy. For Adolf.
Or A. Dolphy.
No, just Dolphy.
Dolphy does Manhattan.
Dolphy does... No, Dolphy does Long Island.
Something... Yeah, now we're starting to get into X-rated territory there. Because that's like similar to Debbie Does.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Debbie did a lot of things.
No. Dolphy comes to Long Island. That would be... Dolphy in Long Island.
Dolphy Long Island?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be. With Michelle Pfeiffer, Meryl Streep, they're the friends. Meryl Streep just lost her husband. Michelle Pfeiffer is like the sidekick, in quotation marks, that's trying to help her communicate with the husband so he can tell her where everything is.
And I feel like having like Queen Latifah in there, have Amy Sedaris
One
in
of
there.
them, yeah. Amy Sedaris, Queen Latifah. There's a couple of people I like as customers too.
You got a thought. I can see you got a thought there. Like there's some people you want to have come in and out of there.
Yeah, people coming in and out of there that add to it. One of them falls for Hitler because
Hitler's a ghost, so only Pfeiffer can see Hitler.
Only a couple of people can see him now.
I would say Pfeiffer and
Meryl Streep.
Whoever was at the initial
at the
they can all see him
at the ritual.
And now he won't leave the salon. Nobody else can see Hitler. But now he won't leave the salon. He's constantly there, just bickering with them.
Somehow he thinks he can work there. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
He's forever stuck in his military uniform, too, so he's got to explain away the military uniform while trying to hide the fact that he's Hitler. Yeah. No, I am Sigmund Freud. I killed myself in this outfit.
Yeah, because I was in the military service. I killed myself because of things that happened in the military.
What? Did you not know I was in the military? No? I went into a French accent there. I can't do...
In the military? No.
That's not the super cannot French. Do an accent. I'm mixing up my accents today.
Yeah.
Sure.
Where is the bathroom? But yeah, that would make a cool movie, a cool comedy.
It would. I don't know if you could make it G-rated, though. I mean, you would have to... I don't know how you kid glove move.
Yeah, no, it will go... Even if you make it G-rated, it will go over a lot of kid heads without you explaining who we're dealing with here.
You notice there's not a lot of G-rated films anymore. Almost all cartoons now are PG at the very least.
Nobody cares for that.
G-rated, I mean, you gotta make, like, saccharinely sweet stuff. Only time you see G-rated is on, like, Nick Jr.
Annoyingly soft.
Early morning Disney.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It would be interesting to have, like, a...
MICKEYHITMOUSE G-rated like a mother.
Okay.
Annette Funicello. I remember a lot when they used to show like reruns of the old Mickey Mouse Club. They would show Annette Funicello as a 13-year-old thinking that shit.
I actually just watched a weird movie. I noticed something interesting about the 1980s, 1970s, that you had a lot of actresses that were like 18 to 25 years old that were portraying girls that were supposed to be in their young teens who were doing nudity in movies.
Yes.
So like this movie that I just watched, and mind you, the entire time we're talking strategically placed bubbles.
Yes.
I watched the finale yesterday. I say finale because I broke this up into like 3 segments watching this movie.
The finale. the grand finale.
I finally got through the entirety of Saturday the 14th. Which was a very odd movie to begin with.
It sounds odd.
And there was a young girl that played the daughter in the movie, and she was like supposed to be in like her mid to upper teens, but she was definitely not supposed to be of age in that movie. And there's this whole bathroom scene with her. And mind you, if it wasn't for very strategically placed bubbles, she was butt-ass naked.
Butterball naked.
Running around the entire house. Now, That's one of the things I couldn't take about this movie. Movie was comedically fine. It was an all right film for its time.
Mm-hmm.
But the scenes where people screamed, there was so much screaming and at length. It's like there's no reason to have one character screaming at full pitch for almost 2 minutes in a movie. No reason. Especially considering this girl had like an an ear-piercing scream. Like, it was horrible.
Yeah, we could call her an ear pitch.
Ear pitch. After watching that one scene, I was like, okay, we're going to pause here.
You understand why somebody will say the word ear pitch.
Ear pitch. Son of a pitch. Ow.
Son of a pitch.
All right, so we're going to go on to our last pitch storm of the day.
Yes, sir.
So, we have pitch storm. Yeah, sorry. Of course we have pitch storm. I got the fucking cards in my hands. What am I doing? A misunderstood stepmother makes contact with dangerous aliens. And we have an NC-17 note here. What if every character in the movie was trying to have sex with the hero? So the misunderstood stepmother makes contact with dangerous aliens.
It will have to be the misunderstood stepmother of a teenager.
This has a very my stepmother is an alien feel to it.
But she's just made contact. She's not. She's probably somebody that is into that type of stuff and just ended up communicating just because it's a hobby of hers to gain knowledge about the subject of the aliens.
So I feel like this girl, whoever this is a wealthy father, right? You got the wealthy father and his daughter, okay?
And son.
Okay, we can have teenage daughter and son.
Yeah, late teens.
And the stepmother that they end up with, my dad went on a road trip. Decided after the divorce he's going to go on a road trip, kind of get himself back together. He decides to drive from New York to Vegas and back. And he ends up landing in Roswell at one point. And this is one of the he ends up falling in love with a waitress at one of the local diners. And brings her home to his teenage daughter and son. They got hitched in Vegas. Okay. So this is how I feel like the beginning of the movie goes. Is his father's explaining this new woman who is now in their kid's life. And these are two wealthy, snooty kids. Like, snobs.
Yeah, very, very snotted-nosed kids. That think the world revolves around the entitlement super of the charts. Thinking the universe revolves or is supposed to revolve around them.
So now here's what we're going to do. Are we going of age stepmom or are we going to go young stepmom? Like dad married way too young for him? Or are we going to go with somebody that's about his age?
We should go someone older than the kids but younger than the dad. In between the kids and the dad. Not necessarily that close in age to the kids, but somebody that looks good enough for both kids to desire her.
Okay, so we're talking alien loving Roswell, New Mexico. We gotta get a vibe going here. I feel
that's Sarah Silverman.
Sarah Silverman, yeah, she hasn't been given a real chance in the movies either.
And
she had a lot of TV.
And she's pretty hot.
Okay. So Sarah Silverman playing a former Roswell, New Mexico waitress who comes home with who is the dad? Because Sarah Silverman's not really young.
No,
but this is an older dad.
We can get an older dad. Who?
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan looks good for it. Who else? The guy that plays James Bond, Daniel Craig.
He's not really older. Pierce Brosnan's a bit older than him. I'm thinking about Pierce's age. Maybe Antonio Banderas.
Banderas, Pierce Brosnan.
And if we're talking like kind of a comedically involved movie, I think Antonio can do that with no problem.
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell might work it.
Super eccentric type of dude.
I like Sam Rockwell for that. Colin Farrell's getting up there.
Colin Farrell doesn't look as old.
He doesn't look as old, but he could do it.
I mean, he is that old, but he just doesn't look it. I like I like Pierce. I still like Daniel Craig. I like Pierce Brosnan. Who else?
Let's keep it with the Bond guys. Let's see. We don't see a lot of comedic roles out of Daniel Craig, so knowing what I like to do, I like to cast against type. Let's go that way.
Yeah.
Because the funniest thing I ever saw him do was that, what is that movie that he was in? He played a kind of southern bumpkin that was helping them rob a NASCAR event. Just bleach blonde hair. Lucky Logan.
Yes.
Or is it Logan Lucky or Lucky Logan?
I think it's Lucky Logan.
Yeah. But that was a fantastic film. It was funny as hell all the way through.
I heard of it, but I never watched it.
Definitely worth watching.
I'm going to look it up then. But yeah, Daniel Craig probably would do it because he can also have you believe his characters when they're angry. You really believe them. So he's gonna be pretty pissed off about certain things, especially that both his kids want to get laid with his wife.
What the young.
The kids?
Both of the kids. One's having a lesbian experience here. Is that what we're doing?
Well, the guy has a boy and a girl. I mean, a son and a daughter.
Okay, so I'm feeling for the young son. I'm feeling the son, Ansel Elgort.
Let me see him, cause
I'm trying to bring up a picture of him here. Ansel Elgort. He is the lead actor from Baby Driver.
Oh, I remember Baby Driver.
Not only that,
that was a good movie too.
And I'll play something for you after we leave here today. But he's actually a fantastic musician. On top of it, he makes his own music.
Oh yeah,
he was a DJ and a musician.
He seems the character he plays is very knowledgeable of music, especially blues.
That's
and
just
stuff
him.
Like that.
He wasn't playing a character there. He was playing him.
Yeah, that was a pretty good movie, Baby Driver. I loved it.
So I like him for the teenage son.
And the daughter.
Well, see, I don't know a lot of.
I'm not very much up on teenage females nowadays. Nico, is this the moment when we really miss you? We missed you all throughout the podcast today, but we miss you a lot now.
I'm trying to think. Because, my kids are in the other room, too. They'd be able to help me with this all day long. But I'm not, at teenage level, I'm not really paying
no, me neither.
attention to a lot of the actresses.
Neither. Which will behoove us to do.
How about Chloe Grace Moretz?
Let me see here.
That's her right there.
Yeah, she works.
Okay.
And, she was on this
Kick-Ass.
show, the Marvel show.
Marvel show?
She wasn't on this Marvel show.
She was the...
about the mutants.
She was on Kick-Ass.
The newer show. The newer Marvel show. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, no, I think you're thinking about Cloak and Dagger. No, that wasn't her.
Not Cloak and Dagger.
No?
The other one, that they're a family and they're mutants. And
The Runaways?
Not the Runaways. The one that takes place in the universe of X-Men.
Oh,
but they're
God.
mutants.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, too. The one that I can't remember.
Yeah, the guy from True Blood was her dad. I think she was in there.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know that was that her? I know her from Zombieland and stuff like that. It was
on Fox.
As for whether or not that's her, I have absolutely no idea.
I think it's her.
It's possible.
How old is this kid now, though? The one you showed me from Kick-Ass. And I remember her from Kick-Ass, but I think that's the same girl.
That's a good question. I'm gonna look it up. We're all sorts all over the place right now. She's got to be in her 20s.
Marvel
at this
TV
point.
show about mutants. Just put that, and it's not the Inhumans. It's this show I'm talking about.
She's got to be in her 20s at this point. She's not young, but she could play young. She's got that face.
Is it The Gifted?
I think actually you're right. The Gifted. But no, I don't think Chloe is...
Put The Gifted cast.
Let's see. I see her in Kick-Ass, Let Me In. She was in Carrie, If I Stay. TV shows, BoJack Horseman. Let's see. She's in the Addams Family cartoon, Suspiria.
Yeah, no, it's not the same girl.
No.
Who was the girl from The Gifted?
That's a good question, too.
She was like right about turning of age at the time where she's done The Gifted.
I'm trying to look for her age right now, though. You asked me age, and it's like, okay, well, give me a minute. She was born 1997, so she's 22.
She's 22.
So she's young enough that she can still play a teenage.
A 19-year-old.
Yeah. She can still play a teenager.
And let's get back to the girl with The Gifted. I don't remember her name. But The Gifted cast. So she will be the daughter of this family that just discovered that the two kids are mutants and that the dad is the one who carries the mutant gene.
Yeah, I know the dad and the mom. The dad's Stephen Moyer. And
Moyer.
The mom is actually Amy Acker from Angel fame.
Great actress. She could be one of the customers of the salon too.
Oh, let's see. I'm trying to find the daughter. I'm having problems here because there's so many young actresses on the show.
Let me look at him. I can tell you which one it is.
There you go. You can go tell me what it is.
I could tell you.
I think it's that blonde right there, if I'm not mistaken.
Natalie Allen Lind.
But I don't know her worth the life of me.
That's her.
I don't know her from anything.
Yeah, let's see.
Not off the top of my head, anyway. But, okay, so we like her for the... I still kind of like Chloe Grace Moretz for the teenage daughter, anyway. This one's neither here nor there. You recognize her in anything?
No. I think that's... It says here that she was in other things, but I don't...
recognize anything she was in.
Gotham. She was in Gotham.
Really?
I think she... Silvers and Cloud she played, yes.
Okay.
Now I remember her. She was in Criminal Minds in 2010. So she was a little kid then.
Okay.
Daybreak. Tell Me a Story. The Goldbergs. She was in The Goldbergs.
It's been in a lot of TV shows.
Yeah, she's been in a few things.
Alright.
Murder in the First, Mockingbird. Gotham. I remember her from Gotham too. Now I recognize the face more. And that's what I was thinking. But yeah, it will be between her and the girl from Kick-Ass, who is now 22.
Yeah. I'd say go with Chloe Grace just because it's a more recognizable face.
Yeah, it's a more recognizable. Yeah, those two will be the kids. The boy will be older probably.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, they both want the stepmom.
So I want to say that stepmom here, she constantly is trying to make contact with aliens. She does all sorts of weird things, from setting up antennas to... And the kids are just... Father finds it endearing. Kids are just annoyed by crazy mom trying to get in contact.
They secretly just want to sleep with her.
Okay.
Granted.
So yeah, there's moments here and there of the kids lusting after the mom. And Chloe is just sort of figuring out that she might be either bisexual or lesbian, and the son is just he's
just horny.
He's always like super like anal. He's like really tight-lipped, always like
very repressed.
Always repressed all the time.
Self-repressed.
And there's a few moments when he's around her where he's just like a real horn dog. For no reason. It's just completely against his nature, and it bothers the hell out of him because he can't seem to keep his cool around her.
Yeah. And he pretty much goes after the help when she's around. Like, he's noticing himself, trying to get laid with anybody, and it's because she causes that effect on him.
Okay. So she accidentally gets in contact with dangerous aliens. I feel like maybe it might not be an accident.
Yeah.
Maybe she is an alien. Maybe she
damn. That's
she got stranded. Well, she was from Roswell, New Mexico. She was a waitress in one of the diners. Maybe she's
the child of an alien.
Maybe she's part of that original crash that took place in Roswell, New Mexico, that everybody thinks is being hidden by Area 51. But she was an alien who escaped the crash and is living amongst human beings. She never ages.
Yeah. A much younger woman, I'm older than you could ever think.
She didn't want to attract a lot of attention, so she assumed the body of sort of like a middle-aged woman and kind of went about doing
business.
So occasionally you have flashbacks when you start to realize she is. You get flashbacks of her when she first became part of normal society. She's trying to learn how humans are and what they do, and so you can play. You can always make a TV show out of this.
Yeah, that could be a whole TV show.
You can make a TV show about I feel like this could be like them taking My Stepmother Was an Alien and turning it into a TV show.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But that way, with that plot there, just found her out there in the middle of nowhere in a trip that he took to clear his mind. Who will play their mom is still in the kid's life. She's just not with them. She's just out there living her life, being a cougar or whatever.
I like Kim Basinger.
Kim Basinger is a little...
She's older.
She looked
This
good,
was,
though.
but this was the mom of two kids that are now in their 20s.
Kim Basinger.
Or almost in their 20s. They're
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman. So yeah, this is the mom of... Uma Thurman's still good looking enough that Dad's not wouldn't pitch her for a younger model.
Well, yeah. Kim Basinger.
Gotta get somebody that could... that's what I was thinking.
Demi
Kim
Moore.
Basinger. Demi Moore. Maybe it's... He got...
Demi Moore could play a great psychotic.
Because if you put Demi Moore and you put Sarah Silverman next to each other, they're kind of the same kind of person, just not humor-wise. Sarah Silverman's funny as hell,
yeah,
but they look kind of similar.
Yeah.
So I guess I could see him...
I guess Daddy likes brunettes.
Dad has a type.
Yeah.
You know, he likes,
his brunettes.
Brunettes that kind of have olive skin, and...
Yeah.
I think they're both Italian, aren't they?
Sarah Silverman's Jewish.
Is she Jewish?
I don't know if Demi's Italian
Demi.
or Jewish. I know Sarah's Jewish.
I can't tell with the last name Moore. I don't know if maybe she.
But they're Mediterranean looking for sure.
That's why I was thinking Italian, but
yeah,
no, you're right. She is Jewish.
Being Mediterranean, yeah. I mean, so are the Jews.
But I feel like Demi Moore was like that status-driven woman, and he just got so tired of her keeping up with the Joneses attitude.
Yeah.
That he's like, I can't do it anymore. You constantly want more and more and more and more, and I can't keep up with it anymore. I need somebody that's a bit more of a free spirit, and they got divorced.
Yeah, somebody more down to earth.
And I say the stick in the monkey wrench in the works. I was saying stick in the mud. Monkey wrench in the works here is the fact that Dad just signed the divorce papers. So he just got divorced, and he goes out for a week, comes back, and he is already married again. And everybody's like, you didn't even take the time to grieve the loss. It's just, you're already married again. Why would you do that?
Some losses have been losses way before they're official. And sometimes that's the way it is.
Right. So, he's already married again. There was like no time. He barely knows the woman, but somehow he's already married. And I feel like maybe you can get into a backstory on how that might have happened too. But I feel this is more of a TV show. This is like a pitch for like at least
a series,
at least a mini-series, if not a TV show.
A series, yeah. At least one season of a TV show.
Right.
I don't think it will survive past 2 seasons. But...
Well, I mean, you could get into her past and how she assimilated into... Cause that's why I'm saying you could do a lot of this in kickbacks. Like, a lot of TV shows, they'll give you, like, your character's history and flashbacks. And this could be some pretty decent comedic flashback.
Most definitely.
So there's several young actresses that could play a young Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
Kind of... And I'd say this alien race ages very, very slowly, because that was back in, the 1940s and 50s?
The mid-40s.
Mid-40s?
The Roswell incident, I think it was mid-40s.
We may want to look that up. You can look that up? Yeah. I can look that up. You said your phone's almost dead.
Yeah, well, I keep turning it off and on.
But, yeah, you can almost turn this into an entire TV series, and... they can take something, an idea like that, and draw it out. Like, this woman's bringing aliens down here to come rescue her. So if she brings other people here, or other aliens here, you could...
1947.
1947. Okay, that's
so right after World War II.
The initial, that whole first season could be about the kids kind of getting to know the mom, and then that cliffhanger that they do at the end of the season would be her finally making contact with her own kind and telling them to come get her. You know?
You heard that?
Yeah, you're making all sorts of bells and whistles. This is why the ringer should be off when you are doing the podcast. See, there, I get the accent right, and I'm not even talking about the movie anymore.
There you go. Back to Hitler.
But, yeah, I mean, you could have her bring people down at the end of the first season. It's like, hey, finally make contact with my own people. Hey, I've been stuck here since 1947. For them, that's like a year. Because I want to say these people age very slowly. Very slowly. So they live twice to 3 times as long as your average human being.
Yeah, that works.
I don't want to say immortal, but...
No, not immortal. Immortal is too much of a cliche already.
And,
aging slowly sounds like closer to believable in a movie that's half comedy, half fantasy.
I want to say the reason why she's trying to bring them here to Earth is because where they live, their original lifespans are very short. Your entire lifespan could be in the span of 10 years of what Earth time would be.
But
somehow our environment allows them to live 3 times.
But all of this would be feasible and doable as a TV show. You discover all this farther ahead in the show as to why she always, looking at alien things and studying aliens is because she's one of them herself. And also a lot of the environment allows them to live, blah, blah, blah. Could be intertwined with a message about protecting the earth and protecting the environment.
I feel like you could also do sort of an invasion of the body snatchers kind of thing with this. Like, she's bringing people down, but she's not just, bringing people down to,
populate.
Just live here, to populate. She's bringing down, the only way that they can integrate into society is by taking the form and essence of another person. Mm-hmm. So... people are starting to act funny. So she's bringing people down, and one by one, she's taking her people and putting them in place of other people.
Yeah, kind of playing chess with souls and vessels.
Ooh,
there
all
you
right.
go.
And with that cough, I believe I have talked myself out for the day.
We're good to go, I will say. But keep in mind, we're gonna be here every week.
We're going to do our level best, too. Next week would be our pre-Christmas podcast. I'm not sure what we're going to have here because Miss Nico has already opted out for next weekend. So I'm going to hope for Seth. I'm going to ask him. But I think I'm going to see if Mr. Alex or there's a couple of other people that might want to join us on the podcast next weekend if you're available.
Yeah.
The one post-Christmas, I'm hoping to have a few buffers in place. I'd like to have something just kind of to slide into place there to let
and a few eggnogs.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I could see that. A few buffers, a few drinks.
Yeah.
But other than that, thank you for tuning again to Cinematic Anarchy. And we're everywhere. Everywhere podcasts are...
Yes.
Not necessarily sold because nobody's paying for them.
We're going to be here talking this shit, enjoying the movies, and hope you tune in next week and catch us on every platform. Make it a great week, a great weekend. If you don't tune in next week with us, make it a great holidays. Enjoy everything, enjoy each other, and take care.
Happy New Year, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah.
Happy Merry whatever.
Happy whatever frickin' holiday you happen to be celebrating right now. And for all you Satanists, hail Satan, I guess. I don't know.
I'm going to be celebrating Happy Sunday in a minute.
I don't know. Happy Sunday?
Yeah.
You going to go home?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's it.